We now know the identity of Toronto's first homicide victim of the new year. 21-year-old Ahmed Yakat of Toronto was killed in a drive-by shooting in the city's Regent Park neighbourhood last night. A second man was also shot, suffered serious injuries. It happened around 10:30 near Dundas and River Streets, and residents say they heard at least 7 gunshots. Good evening, I'm Mark McAllister at that very location. As you can see behind me, that is where the car that was riddled with bullets was standing when it all went down last night. We're directly across the street, of course, from the Regent Park neighbourhood and where all the revitalization has been taking part over the last 10 years or so. But while it all looks a little different from once it did once before, a lot of people here say that it isn't that much different than it was. The days of violent crime and gun violence were supposed to be long gone when the large social housing project known as Regent Park started its renewal. Valerie Wilson was hoping for the best when she moved back 2 years ago, but it's not what she imagined it to be, especially with another shooting just around the corner.
The buildings are great. The neighborhood they're trying to clean up and that, but unfortunately Metro Housing is bringing back some of the bad people also.
Through the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, Regent Park's reputation was that of a self-contained drug haven, overrun with gang activity. These days, it's just not as visible. Did you think something like this would happen in this neighborhood now?
Yes.
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 Why is that?
Because you can't just put up new buildings and hope that the systemic problems are going to change.
Police data shows the number of shootings every year in 51 Division, where Regent Park sits, have not gone down since the revitalization began. In fact, they've gone up and are higher than they were 15 years ago. Local councillor Kristen Wong-Tam says there's more to making change than building up. This isn't supposed to happen here anymore.
Well, I mean, you know, we do see violence taking place in the community. I think the expectation is that as new residents move in, as the buildings are refurbished and ultimately rebuilt, hopefully it will bring hope and economic prosperity to all.
Social services are a key part of the revitalization, she says, and until then, don't expect the name Regent Park to have totally shaken the cobwebs from the past. Police are now looking for a dark-colored small sedan. They say it was the one that actually drove by and where the bullets came from. At this point, they don't have any more information on the suspects, but they're asking witnesses to come forward.